Hello and welcome back to Lewis's Lounge episode number 4 today. This one's been a long time coming. I did tweet out ages ago that I was going to be doing a video when Pennock was appointed manager and after the Gillingham retained list was announced. Now the retained list is announced obviously, and those 4 players have been offered deals that most Gillingham fans know about, and I'm going to basically be giving my reactions on those players. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about Ady Pennock. Now we all know how it went last season. If you've been following the channel, been following the vlogs, following me on Twitter, anything like that, and we know that Pennock sort of took Gills downhill. Obviously there's a lot of things that could be responsible for that. He spoke about poison in the dressing room, to use his words. Obviously his tactics at points, the personnel he had there. But in the end of the day, we went from something like 17th to 20th, but we went from 8 points off relegation to just 1 point, having to rely on Port Vale, failing to beat Fleetwood on the final day. So obviously people saying Pennock's out of his depth, having never managed higher than Forest Green before, that sort of thing. People saying, yeah, he's a club legend, but is he the one to take us forward? Probably not. Now, he was awarded with another 1-year deal, as well as the rest of his coaching staff, so Jamie Day and Steve Lovell, and the goalkeeping coach as well as the physio. And there's a lot of controversy. People saying we're going down already. Originally, I thought it was a bad decision. I'm still not completely happy with the decision, but after talking to Simon Hodge when I went to Priestfield, I had a look around. He sort of spoke to me a bit and he said Adrian is the perfect personality to have around. He said he gave them all cakes, he's very welcoming, he goes to his own training sessions, to Simon's training sessions that is, and at this time apparently Pennock is exactly what this club need. Now I can sort of see that. I know we're nowhere near the level, but Barcelona sort of go down the route of employing past players. I know we do that quite a lot, obviously, with Hez and Tyler. Pennock, Taylor's been there many times as well, after Taylor was of course announced as director of football behind Pennock. But Pennock's been given a new deal, and somewhat I sort of agree with Simon in terms of that's actually what Gillingham need maybe at the minute. They need someone that knows the club. Maybe not tactically the best, but someone that knows the club. If you get the right personnel and get rid of the poison Pennock spoke about, we might be able to do a bit better next season. Now, last season, obviously we did struggle, but this season, hopefully we could do better. In terms of the players that were offered deals, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players released, 4 players offered deals. Those 4 players offered deals were Cody McDonald, everyone was hoping for that, Greg Condell, Josh Parker and Elliot List. Those released Zesh Remen, Ryan Jackson, really says Simeon Jackson, Chris Hurd, Mitchell Dickinson, young goalkeeper Henry Newcombe, Manuel Ostadebe, Roy Donnelly and Oliver Muldoon. Now, first I'll talk about the released players. Zesh Remen was released. I know Jack wasn't his biggest fan. I think we could have done better for that sort of player that we wanted. I mean, I was looking at taking on Adam Alabs permanently, but he went to Shrewsbury. Zesh Remen came in towards the end of the season. We won 3 of his first 4 games, I think it was. He was sort of a head-it, kick-it sort of player. Brought in the experience. You could see him talking all the time. I think he helped Dickinson bury away when they played together. I think when Dickinson played against Swindon as well, and they were helping Remen was helping Dickinson because he's obviously a younger player, and his experience was vital. Remen did tweet out, he was like, thanks for the opportunity, Gillingham, considering other options before I make my decision, but ultimately we found out he had been released by the club. Now, I'm assuming that they'll be going in for more centre-backs. I mean, Alex Lacey is already signed, he's 23. Apparently a good leader, I've not seen much of him myself, but he's very good on the ball and a good leader apparently, so that'll be good to come into the defence as well. That's what you need in your defence, is leaders. That leaves just 2 centre-backs currently at in the squad, unless you count Finn O'Mara, who's a centre-back / right-back. So I think Gillingham will be looking to bring at least 2 more centre-backs in. Another centre-back, you could sort of call him, was Chris Hurd that was released. Now, he looked overweight at times. He looked okay on the ball at times, but he played a right-back, he played a centre-back. Whenever I actually saw him in his proper position in centre defensive midfield, but I think he always had the weight problems. He was injured quite a lot of the time. I think the one game we won with him in the team was when he went off at half-time against Scunthorpe. We were 2-0 down when he went off, I think, something like that. And eventually we won 3-2. 3 penalties from Josh Wright, and he had nothing to do with it. So not too much problems or worries with him moving on. Another centre-back that I already spoke about, Mitchell Dickinson. Now, he was a young player, and I was sort of looking forward to seeing a bit more of him. I mean, Pennock spoke about him, saying there's a good future for the club when he made his debut against Bury. And he looks okay on the ball, he looks okay when he played. I mean, he had the odd error in him, but he's only young and he hadn't played much for the Gills. But he was released with Finn O'Mara coming through. I could sort of see why, but I was slightly surprised not to see him get a new deal. Ryan Jackson from right back, I mean, I was happy about this because I was a big fan of Ryan Jackson when he came in. He was very good in his first half of the season where we were top of the league. He did decline like the rest of the team, but I mean, under Pennock, he didn't want to run with the ball. He relied on his strength a lot, and he looks okay. I mean, I wouldn't be too much hit and miss. I know Jack said that he might not be too bothered if he stays on because you've got to go out and get a better right back and not them anymore in the league. But he has been released. It wouldn't surprise me to see him go to Northampton. He followed Edinburgh from Newport to Gillingham. Now he might follow him to Northampton, but still, it was okay. I wasn't too bothered with him being released. I mean, no right back in the squad except for arguably Finn O'Mara again and Scott Wagstaff and Aaron Morris, who can fill in at times. But we'll definitely want a proper right back to come in and fill in that role. I mean, Stephen Darby's just been released by Bradford. I'm not sure what he's up to, but he's a good leader. Used to be at Liverpool, of course, and I'd be more than happy to see him come in if we can afford it. Next player on the list is Henry Newcombe, who's a young goalkeeper, only signed pro last year. So some people might be questioning why he was released. But at the end of the day, it was under a different manager. He never really had his chance. Holy and Hadler are the two main goalkeepers at the minute, and they're also both very young, so I can sort of see why Newcombe was released. I wish him all the best. Apparently he was good when people saw him. I didn't actually see much of him personally. I'm going to go on to Roy Donnelly. Not talk much about him because he is apparently involved in a police case. I mean, he was suspended by the club towards the end, and apparently he drove without a licence. I'm not sure where that's going, but he's not a problem anymore. He's not contracted to the club. I mean, some people saw him as a bit of a weird personality, but he was energetic. He worked hard. He won a few headers in the air, but he didn't score many goals. I mean, he scored 2 or 3 goals last season. I mean, he had that little flurry at the start of the season before that, but apart from that, he didn't offer much. And at this level, you just want goal scorers, really, and people that are going to perform for you week in, week out, and not just have the odd good game. People that are going to try hard. Oliver Muldoon, not much to talk about him. I mean, maybe a bit unfortunate given Pennock wanted to have him on it this season because we apparently didn't have the funds, but he did get bought on, taken on at the time. I think we saw him in his actual position once in midfield against Peterborough, and obviously he slipped when the final goal was scored, the winning goal that turned out to be. But he was played out left wing back, he was played at left back, probably right wing back at some point, and he was played out of position, which is maybe unfair for him. He's still young, he didn't spend much time at the club, obviously he was on loan here before, but I'm hoping he'll find a good club. I'm sure he will. He's still young and he could always find it for the future, but unfortunately he wasn't used much at Gillingham. He didn't really seem to have the quality that we needed, and he moves on. Now, finally, I go to Emmanuel Osadebe. Now, people might know how I feel about him. Called out fans, calling him out on Twitter, just being a bit of a fool and seeing him a bit too big for his boots at this level. I mean, he's a Tottenham graduate with his first professional club, and he's sort of been saying, oh, I enjoyed my first 1.5 years at Gillingham, which was the year, the other half after Pennock took over. I mean, for me, he wasn't even that good at football. He's more of an athlete. He's overcommitted all the time. He had the odd good goal in him against Bury, as we saw a couple of seasons ago, but he didn't really offer much. I mean, played okay against Sheffield United. I wasn't too convinced, but when he was let go, I was so happy. I mean, I met him. I got a photo with him, and he posed like this. So, yeah, that's just his sort of his personality. I wasn't too bothered. He's young. He's been pictured in a Brentford training jacket, so we'll see if he goes on to play for Brentford. I mean, I've done a bet with my friend Keith about how many appearances he'll make next year, and I don't think there'll be many in the Championship if he is to go on and join Brentford. But I'm happy he's off our books. Could go on to big things for all I know, but his personality isn't what we need. Now, I'm going to go on to the contracted players now, the ones that are off the contract. First of all is Josh Parker, who sort of found his opportunities limited at Gillingham until the back end of the season. He was used up front, he was used on the wing, and he was used at wing back quite a lot as well. He impressed. He always wanted to try. I mean, he obviously was fighting for it. There was eyebrows raised when he turned to Gillingham, when he signed for us, because he'd never scored a goal in English football. He never really played at this level properly before, but he made well impressed me, especially with his pace, especially on Northampton at the final day of the season. And I think he's an excellent person to give the contract to now. He hasn't accepted it yet. I'm hoping he will. We've given him his first real chance. I'm hoping he will. He's a good utility player. Maybe not starting every week, but he's versatile. He can play at wing back. Like I said, he can play up front, and his pace is very key. Elliot List, I was actually against giving him a deal, but I suppose Pennock wants to play wingers. Like he said when he came into the club, then List is a good option to have because he's pacey. I mean, he did seem a bit one-dimensional at times, like Jermaine McGlasham when I saw him play, but he's been given a deal. Maybe he'll accept it. He does have very limited opportunities. He found himself out of the squad at times towards the back end of the season, despite starting games when Pennock first came in. But Elliot List, he's still very young. He's 20, 21, something like that. It was his birthday the other day. And hopefully he'll be given his opportunity this season. Greg Cundall, now I know he scored a bunch of goals out on loan. Hasn't started a game for the club yet. Has made a few appearances off the bench against the likes of West Brom in the Cup, of course, under 21 side in the Checkatrade Trophy. But there's been some debate about what position he actually plays, whether he's a number 10 or whether he's a striker, but he's been offered a deal. I'm slightly worried. He has accepted that today, being filmed on the Monday. He has accepted that today. But I'm a bit worried because that might mean we're going to see less of Nolan Bose on the penultimate game of the season against Fleetwood. Condor was brought on, or was it Bristol Rovers? I can't really remember. But in one of those games, Condor was brought on over Mbo when people were dying out to have Mbo. But he's accepted the deal. We'll see him. He scored goals out on loan, so we will see for sure what he's got to offer this season. Now, finally, Cody McDonald. Now, I know people have been critical of him at times. Maybe he doesn't do enough at this level, but he scored 12 goals this season in a struggling team. I think it's okay. Excuse me. He is a club legend. I think he's 8th in the all-time top goal scorers now. Captain material for me if you're going to give it to someone else other than Josh Wright. But I know that he's a quality player when he wants to be. I mean, if he has a partner next to him, then maybe he can do better. I mean, Joe Quigley wasn't the man for him. Someone like Akifemwa, I'm not saying Akifemwa, but someone like that would work perfect for Cody McDonald, I think. So if we can get a tall striker in, a target man, then it'll do better for him. And he hasn't accepted the deal. Rumours that Ebbsfleet are in to offer him more money, still local. But I'm hoping Cody McDonald signs the new deal. Fans wanted him. He fights for the shirt, he's a club legend, and he scores goals. Now, last of all, I just want to talk about Billy Knott and Stuart Nelson, who have both been placed on the transfer list. Now, for me, Billy Knott, very controversial, as is Stuart Nelson, but not so much. Billy Knott, now he was used sparingly under Edinburgh. He looked like he was going to be a starter. He said in an interview that he was told he was going to play behind the strikers because Gillingham had assumed Bradley Dack was going to leave the club last summer. Now, he went out alone to Lincoln, obviously won the National League with them. Game time was sparing there, but he did not get his chance under Pennock. Now, I'm a big fan of Billy Knott, especially if that goes this year. Billy Knott goes as well. Where's the number 10 playing that role? We're going to have to bring someone else in. Now, Billy Knott is a very good player. Maybe some people argue he doesn't have the right attitude. I mean, he was left out of squad once and tweeted his anger, or, excuse me, left out of squad because he tweeted his anger. But nevertheless, there's no doubt at the quality he has. When he signed, I was buzzing, and I think it's a shame that we'll be seeing him go. And I'm sure he'll do good at whatever club he goes to, whether that be Lincoln or someone else. Now, Stuart Nelson, also a club legend, maybe thinks, thought by Ady Pennock that his game time will also be sparing this term because he's 36 now, I think, 35. Thomas Holy's 10 years younger, and Thomas Hadder's probably another 15 years younger than that. Nelson probably prefers him. I mean, Holy did take his place. Nelson came in for the last game against Northampton, but that's an experience head needed. Behind that defence, he kept a clean sheet on his final game for the club, which I think is a brilliant way to go out. If he does go out, I've been told that it's not actually Stuart Nelson's decision, it was the club's decision, but that's fair enough. If he's not going to be even in the squad, let alone playing next season, then it's fair enough for him to go and play football this age. But he'll always be remembered as England #1 and a club legend. So overall, my thoughts on the retain list are that they're all spot on. I've got no complaints. I mean, maybe I wouldn't have given List a year. I did originally say I was going to give Remen a year, but I'm not fussed. I was happy Parker got a contract. I was happy McDonald got a contract. Maybe offered it to Newcombe, but I can't understand why. Not too happy with the 2 players transfer listed. Excuse me again. But there we go. Pennock, not overly amused. Ecstatic is the word I'm looking for about his appointment, but I'm sure that in the future we will see. Sorry, something in my throat. But we will see how well he will do with his own squad. Peter Taylor, obviously, in as director of football, got good contacts. Already brought in Alex Lacey, he's responsible for signs of Dickinson, for John Egan before, people like that. If you're a Gillingham fan or a football fan of the lower leagues, you'll know they're good players. And obviously, John Egan is now broken into the Republic of Ireland side. And I think that's a good appointment. But what a lot of fans are saying that we're hoping won't eventually happen is Pennock sacked around October/Christmas. Peter Taylor comes in and takes over the helm for the rest of the season because that'll send us back to square one. But a lot of people say it's lack of ambition from Scally. I did originally say that, but seeing Pennock, seeing Simon Hodge, seeing Pennock around might be the right thing that the players need. I mean, it definitely seems to be what the staff need. Scott Wagstaff has said they're completely behind him when he met with a fan. And I'm just hoping that is the case. I'm hoping Pennock's passion and with a bit of help of Peter Taylor to bring the right players in, Gillingham can push forward next season, maybe a mid-table finish, and prepare for a promotion push for the playoffs, excuse me, the next season. Now, I hope you enjoyed my views. Check out all the links in the description below. I've just done an interview with international footballer Jamie Bossio. He's played against the likes of Belgium, Germany. He plays for Gibraltar. Used to be my teacher, so go check that out. That's a couple of videos ago now, but please check that out. I hope you enjoyed. Follow all the social networks and the links down below. Please like, subscribe. Subscribe to White Lines F1 as well. A Monaco Grand Prix analysis just up on that. What a race that was. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Retweet on Twitter, and goodbye.